Strings Ivory, the exhaustive book of chords and scales. In this second tutorial, I want to talk specifically about the scale index. The scale index is based off of the step sequence system which I have created, and the purpose of that is to know all possible step sequences for 5, 6, 7, and 8-tone scale systems. Starting in the 7-tone step sequences, we look at step sequence 1, and we see the Ionian scale, or also known as the major scale, and all of its modes: the Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. And the idea of creating other step sequences is to transpose one or more of the degrees of the Ionian scale. For example, if we were to flat the second degree, we would come up with step sequence 2, with the intervallic formula right there, with the flatted second degree. It has all of its unique modes, creating a whole new step sequence and a slightly different sound. If we sharp the second degree, we would come up with step sequence 3 and all of its unique modes. And there is a total of 46 different 7-tone possible step sequences. Moving on to the 6-tone scale systems here. You create a 6-tone scale system by omitting 1 degree from a 7-tone scale system. And here we have a total of 173 different 6-tone scale systems. If you notice, looking at scale system 1 here at the top, the first mode omits the 7th degree, the second mode omits the 6th degree, the third mode omits the 5th degree, the fourth mode omits the 4th degree, and the 5th mode omits the 3rd degree, and the 6th mode omits the 2nd degree. In this book, every 6-tone scale systems will omit the same degree for each of the modes. Now moving down to the derivative table for 6-tone scale systems. This tells us exactly which 7-tone scale system that each of the 6-tone scale systems was derived from. So for example, if we look at 6-tone scale system 1, it displays the first mode's intervallic formula there. If we look at that first one and we move to the right, we can see that these are the 7-tone scale systems that it's derived from. You'll see the first of 1 and the 5th of 1. So that is saying that the first mode of 6-tone step sequence 1 is derived from the first mode of a 7-tone scale system 1, or the 5th mode of a 7-tone scale system 1. So remember this formula, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we go back to the 7th tone step sequence 1, in the mode 1, we can see that if you had omit the 7th degree, you would have created that particular 6-tone scale. Or if you go to the 5th mode, the Mixolydian scale, if you omit the flat 7, you also create the exact same scale, intervallic formula there. Another example we can look at is 6-tone scale system 14, and this intervallic formula of 1, flat 2, double flat 3, flat 4, flat 5, and flat 6. Moving to the right, you can see that there's 3 different possibilities that you can derive this 6-tone scale system from: the 2nd of 3, the 7th of 9, and the 7th of 26, which would mean the 2nd mode of 7-tone scale system 3, the 7th mode of 7-tone scale system 9, or the 7th mode of 7-tone scale system 26. And remember this intervallic formula: the flat 2, flat, double flat 3, flat 4, flat 5, and flat 6. We're going to take a look at the 2nd mode of 7-tone scale system 3. Right here is the 7-tone scale system 3. Looking at the 7th mode of alt double flat 3, double flat 7, look at the intervallic formula: 1, flat 2, double flat 3, flat 4, flat 5, and flat 6. By omitting the double flat 7, you created that particular 6-tone scale system. Or you can also look at the 7th mode of 7-tone scale system 9 to get the exact same result. So going to 7-tone scale system 9, going to the 7th mode, Alt double flat 3. Here's the intervallic formula: 1, flat 2, double flat 3, flat 4, flat 5, flat 6. And by omitting that flat 7, you create that exact same 6-tone scale system. And the next step is we're looking at the 6-tone step sequences. Because we omit 1 degree from a 7-tone scale system, it makes it possible that multiple 6-tone scale systems can fit within the exact same step sequence. So we're looking at 6-tone step sequence 1, and we see a few numbers below that, and that just means that scale system 1, 74, 83, 149, and 170 all fit within this step sequence. Looking at 6-tone scale system 1 there, moving to the right, you see a blue box in that first mode. That indicates the first mode of that particular scale system. If you look at scale system 74, then you move to the right until you see the blue box. And that's the first mode for that particular 6-tone scale system. But the red number means that we're focused on that one, so that's why we'll see that mode 1 here fits. This is mode 1 for the step sequence. If you see a red box, that is the typical intervallic formula typically used for that scale. And seeing multiple scale systems within a step sequence is just inharmonically the same. And moving on to 5-tone scale systems, there's 3 different groups. And the reason why is because when you omit 2 different degrees from a 7-tone scale system, depending on what 2 that you omit, it'll create a different step sequence from that same exact 7-tone scale system. So in group 1, if we look at scale system 1 for the 5-tone and look at mode 1, notice that the 2nd and the 7th degree are missing, that are omitted. And then for the group 1, we also have a 7-tone derivative table for the 5-tone scale systems. And it works the exact same way. Now with 5-tone scale system group 2, looking at okay, there we go. Looking at group 2 in the 5-tone scales, looking at scale system 1 in group 2, that it omits the 4th and the 7th degree. And then in group 3, looking at the first mode, it'll omit the 6th and the 7th degree. Those are the 3 different types of groups that we have in 5-tone scale systems. And each group works exactly the same way for finding the 7-tone scale system it was derived from. And moving on to the 5-tone step sequences, just like in 6-tone step sequences, multiple 5-tone scale systems can fit into the same exact step sequence. In this example here, in step sequence 1 for 5-tone step sequences, we see at the very top here, underneath that, 45 of G1. It means it is the 45th scale system in 5-tone scale systems group 1. And the one that is red is the one that's focused on for for the intervallic formulas. And there is a total of 65 different 5-tone step sequences. Now looking at 8-tone step sequences, it's just adding 1 degree to a 7-tone scale system. So looking at step sequence 1, we'll see at the very top 1-1. The first number indicates what 7-tone step sequence it was. And the second number indicates what empty space that was used to fill in that extra note. Here, all the red notes are the ones that are filled in, are the extra notes that are added to the 7-tone step sequence to create the 8-tone step sequences. And there is a total of 42 different 8-tone step sequences. If we look at the beginning of the book on page 12, the how to use this book section teaches you how to use the scale system and has more of a visual references. That's about it for the scale system. If you have any questions, read the beginning of the book or comment below for questions. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys find it useful.